So those bans for Mapua are target bans towards Kulit, who is the jungler of Mineski, so he has been known for that Rex sign for that Jarvan, just taking that away from him, making sure he doesn't get his hands on them.
Alright, so Irelia and Ari being the last bans of both teams, mostly mid laners.
Yeah, those are definitely target bans for Diamond Egan, also known as Diamond Eben, who has been the carry of Diamond and also the carry for this Mapua team. So definitely just trying to make sure that Eben doesn't have the tools he needs to carry the game.
Right. Alright, so we're going to go over to the first pick. That's going to be Azelas hovering over the Nidalee, which has been a pretty strong jungler in the current patch. Still hasn't really been nerfed, except in 5.5. I think the Bushwhack is going to get slightly nerfed, I think, but we're not in patch 5.5 just yet. So Nidalee still untouched, still quite a strong assassin jungler, and that is going to be locked in, I think, for Mapua. Alright. Meanwhile, Irelia being banned out as well.
So I feel like CSB might pick up the Sejuani. Sejuani is probably the only jungler left for Kulit to play. So let's see if he does decide to pick that.
Yeah, gotta be a hover over Yasuo as well, but can change their mind. Now just messing around. And that's gonna be a Riven lock in. So this might be mid or top lane, or jungle even. And that's gonna be Kulit. Not sure who to lock in just yet. Most of his picks being banned out. Definitely the one that Mapua was targeting, and that might be a Hecarim. Might be. Yeah, it's gonna be a Hecarim and a Riven. So not sure where these two laners or these two champions are gonna end up.
I have a feeling that's gonna be a Hecarim jungle with a teleport, so no flash. Which is why Kulit does have that smite and teleport.
Yeah.
While that Riven will be definitely in that definitely be in that top lane. And that will be going to Kaigu.
Alright.
So Find Your Harmony is Kaigu for those of you who aren't aware. He's currently on the TNC roster, so making a comeback into that competitive scene.
Alright.
Last year he hasn't really been playing that much, however he's back and playing really well.
So this should be a very interesting. We know Riven is definitely one of the champions you like to show off with if you want to get back into the scene. Meanwhile, Mapua hovering over Maokai and Leona. Pretty standard picks right now in the current patch, I think. Very heavy all-in from both champions, and that is going to be a lock in there for Mapua. Looks like there's a lot of dive-in potential coming in from Mapua right now.
Both sides actually have a lot of dive. Hecarim does have that ultimate of his, as well as Riven with those dashes and all those leaps. Lots of mobility coming in from both sides, lots of all-in. And it'll be really interesting to see how this pans out.
Right, so we're gonna see now the final three picks. It's gonna be Zed and Rion. Not sure we're gonna pick up just yet. That's still the bottom lane and the mid lane left out for them. So although they do have fewer choices, they did decide to autoban Serath, Jace, and Lissandra. So that does remove 3 mid laners immediately, as well as LeBlanc and Ari. So they are bringing down the choices. Victor is left open, so he is still an option. Hover over the Graves there, and the Zed. So both picks pretty standard as well. They have been strong in the current patch, but they are going to change their mind. There might be a mid lane Lux or a Twisted Fate. So that's going to be a Twisted Fate and a Graves for CSB.
So yeah, further adding to the burst potential coming in from that CSB team, Twisted Fate can lock someone up with that gold card, and Hecarim can also follow up with that unstoppable onslaught, as well as that Graves with the buckshot and ultimate. Lots of burst.
Yeah, lots of burst coming in from CSB, but Mapua also having a lot of all-in potential with the Orianna as well, so a possible wombo combo gonna come out here for Mapua, and we're gonna see who the AD carry will be. Gonna change their mind there. Might be a Cassiopeia instead, and the Tristana.
Yeah, so this is definitely what Mapua needs to pick up. They were really heavy on that magic damage prior to picking up the Tristana. However, picking up a really strong late game carry like Tristana is really good for their lineup, and they have really strong late game potential. If once they lock in this Cassiopeia and Tristana, both of them are considered hyper carries once they approach that late game. However, it will instead be a Orianna.
Yeah, so this could be a possible wombo combo
Nope.
Oh, nope.
Cassiopeia.
They're just gonna lock in the Cassiopeia and the Tristana back now to Snoy, who's gonna take that last pick. It's only the support left, so we're not sure who they are gonna put up to help out Graves in that bottom lane. Who do you think? Ooh, Morgana.
Yeah,
Definitely
Morgana
a
would
possible
actually be
pick.
pretty good here, stopping a lot of the CC coming down,
Yeah.
ensuring that petrifying gaze uh, or the root coming in for the Maokai is blocked, which
Right.
is pretty important coming in for that Riven and that Graves, ensuring
Right,
that they
yeah.
don't get stun locked.
Right, so this might be a Morgana lock-in. Janna also still left open, as well as the Nami, but this might be the best choice for
Definitely
CSB.
I feel Morgana is actually really good here compared to a Janna. Nami definitely not the greatest pick
Mm.
going into that Leona Tristana lane.
Whoop.
However, wow, Fiddlesticks.
Fiddlestick support,
Nope.
but it's gonna change his mind. Almost somewhat Shura mode there, coming in from Snowy, but they are gonna change their mind. So this is gonna be the final team composition. So on the blue side, that is Mapua. I believe their team name is Tres na Sapat,
Yes.
Tres lang Sapat na, and that's gonna be Azelas, I believe, in the top lane with a Maokai, Leona, and Tristana in the bottom lane. That's Alan Ware, and I do not know how to say.
I guess it's barcode.
Yeah,
Because
barcode.
that's really popular in Korea with the
Mm.
StarCraft 2 players where they'll change their name to just a bunch of lines so they can't really identify who you are when you're playing this ladder in StarCraft, as a lot of the players tend to have a specific style or specific cheese, and covering your name prevents the other players in StarCraft from knowing what you're going to do.
Wow, so strategic name there, coming in from the support of MIT, and that's going to be Eben in the jungle. He is from Diamond. That's going to be Nidalee, and in the mid lane, that is a Cassiopeia. That's Egan in the mid lane with a Cassiopeia.
Yes, and for that CSB side, we do have Find Your Harmony, also known as Kaigu, in that top lane with the Riven. In the jungle, we will be having Kulit, Sobrang Kulit, who is Mineski Kulit on the Hecarim on that Hecarim playing jungle. For the mid lane, we will be having Globe Set, Mineski Globe Set,
Yes.
as the Twisted Faith, and in that bot lane, we will be having Rion and Snowy with that Graves and Morgana pickup.
All right, so we're going to move into the Summoner's Rift pretty soon. Neep, what are your thoughts, like your general impressions on these team compositions? Because you were saying earlier, MIT looks like it has this very all-in kind of composition, slight late game sort of thing going on. How about CSB? What do you think is their strategy
CSB
here?
definitely has the really flashy picks. They have that Riven, they have that Hecarim jungle, and they have that TF. So lots of playmaking potential coming in from the CSB side. I guess their plan is to rely on their superior mechanics coming to this game. I believe all of the players on that CSB side are challenger. So lots of playmaking potential. Riven is like the king. If you want to make plays, you pick Riven, and they should be seeing that coming in. However, Maokai is a really safe top lane pick, and a really easy, well, I'd say easy to use in the sense that it's hard to lose lane with Maokai, so it'll be really interesting to see if Kaigo will be able to get those openings.
To outplay him.
However, another outplay we might be seeing in this game is the home guards Hecarim with that teleport. So being the initiators for that fights.
So sobrang kulit gonna be sobrang kulit.
Yes,
in
definitely.
This game with that Hecarim, we might see some cheesy plays with the home guard. We are gonna move in quite soon. How about MIT? We did say they had a slight all-in team, but they kind of mixed it up a bit, because instead of grabbing Oriana, they decided to bring out the Cassiopeia and the Tristana as well.
I feel like MIT does have the weaker laning phase in the mid lane and the bot lane. Tristana and Cassiopeia aren't really the strongest laners. Cassiopeia needs those poison stacks on her passive before she really gets going. However, this is compensated by the Nidalee pick, Nidalee being one of the really strong junglers in the current meta, able to get picks and provide lots of damage in those ganks. So it's a pretty balanced comp, and I actually really like the MIT team comp.
Alright, so based on these team comps, let's assume they have, well, I'd like to assume at least, that they have pretty even skills here. Who do you think would have this game?
I'd have to go for Mapua. Because Mapua has so many ways they can play out this game. They have really strong engage with the Maokai, Nidalee, or the Cassiopeia, or the Leona ults. And they also have really strong push and siege potential coming in with that Nidalee and Tristana. There's just so many options for Mapua into this game, unlike the CSB side where they're kind of limited to just getting picks. And there's not really, I just like Mapua for having just lots of options coming into this match.
Alright, so that's going to be Mapua with a lot of all-in potential, a lot of options for them, but a lot of outplay potential as well
Yes.
coming in for CSB. So this should definitely be an exciting game. Before we move into the Summoner's Rift, we just want to remind you guys that we do have our PGS Rift community platform, so do join us over there. Go over to Gtalk. The ID number is 171-88811. Also, go over to our Facebook page. All you have to do is go over to the search bar and type in PGS Rift. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the first thing to come out there, so do join us there as well. We also have the Pro Gaming Series Instagram and Twitter accounts, so just follow us at PGSLOL.
Yes, and make sure to also check out the LCL Facebook page as well as their website. So.
Yes, do check out that. If you guys want to be updated with any of the standings or any kind of detail related to the LCL, do visit over at that page. Alright, so we are going to move into the Summer's Rift in a bit. We're just going to take this short break.
He made top before, but I guess he's playing support now.
Alright, so welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LoL Collegiate League 2015. This is Week 11. Again, this is GS Amplifier, and alongside with me is
GS League.
Alright, so let's take a look at the team compositions one more time. So on the blue side, we've got MIT, that's Tres Lang Sapat Na. That's Azelas in the top lane with the Maokai. That's Barcode and Allenware in the bottom lane with the Tristana and Leona combo. Eben in the jungle with the Nidalee, and that's going to be Egan in the mid lane with the Cassiopeia.
Yes, and for that CSB side, we will be seeing Find Your Harmony Kaigu in that top lane with the Riven, Maklit on the Hecarim jungle. For the mid lane, we will be seeing Mineski Globe Zed, and on that Twisted Faith, and for the bot lane, we will be seeing Rion and Snoy on that Graves and Morgana.
Alright, so they are just going to be fixing their settings for just a bit. Gonna see if there is going to be any early level 1 cheese this game. It does look like CSB has a pretty scary level 1 here. They've got a lot of, it looks like they have a lot of CC going for them.
Yeah, definitely lots of CC going in for that level 1. However, at the same time, Mapua does have a bit of CC of their own and a lot of damage of their own with that Nidalee Spear or the Nidalee Trap. So I doubt that CSB will go for that level 1 play. However, anything can happen.
Yeah, definitely. So we're gonna see if CSB decides to make that very aggressive play. That is the Hecarim with a teleport and the smite. So we might be seeing some really crazy home guard teleport techniques coming in from Kulit.
We've been seeing a lot of Hecarim top without the flash and opting for the ignite. However, seeing a Hecarim with smite without flash is something pretty new, and we'll see how it pans out. Hecarim jungle itself, I don't think the wave clear is actually that good. Like, the first early levels are actually pretty painful and pretty slow. However, once you get going, once you start picking up items and getting more points into your queue, it becomes much more faster. So, it could work out. It could work out.
Do you think Eben would go for invading him here? Because, like you said, it's quite a painful phase for Hecarim in the early game. Meanwhile, Nidalee, not as difficult, I think.
It's definitely possible, and Nidalee is actually a really good champion for evading. In solo queue, you'll see a lot of the Nidalees in the jungle role opting to try to steal camps or just get a pick, seeing as Nidalee just has so much really good dueling potential.
Yeah, I remember playing a game, I think, with Kuroa and Echo, and he was using Nidalee.
Yeah.
Totally destroyed me in
Nidalee's
my own jungle.
Really strong champion.
So we might see possible invade from Eben. It looks like MIT has to keep their carries safe. Maybe play a little bit passive this early game.
Yeah, early game is definitely going to be a really passive lane. Maybe we might see a little bit of action when Eben decides to gank, but in terms of just like laning itself, MIT will be playing pretty passive. Aside from the bot lane, as it is a Leona. Leona is not really a champion that you just stand still and just farm on. So
what do you think about that though? Leona would usually be comboed with AD carries that have a lot of burst on in the early game.
Tristana does have quite a bit of burst actually. The the new E on
charge?
the new explosive charge on the Tristana rework is actually really strong if you're able to get a couple hits down. So at level 1 it does 60 damage, and it actually gets amplified, so 25% extra, so potentially 120 damage burst.
So it is
in a level 1 situation, which is
I think it's often underestimated, the burst that comes
and it's really strong for hitting turrets as well.
And that's why I think some people were saying that Tristana got a much stronger early to mid game, just because the explosive charge also procs on towers.
Yes, and I believe in the next patch they're actually making it so the cooldown on Q,
it gets reduced, right?
Every time you land an auto attack with someone that has the E on
it gets reduced.
So that's definitely going to be a pretty big nerf coming in for Tristana. Should maybe see a bit more play.
Hopefully. But we are going to see Tristana here on Alienware. That is going to be the game now. We are going to start up, going to see if there will be any level 1 engage. We might be seeing pretty passive play from MIT because of their carries, but anything can happen. So you're going to see if there will be any invades here.
So looking at the items, pretty standard. Only, I guess, notable thing is Maokai has decided to go for that Doran's ring rather than going for those 3 pots. So looking to trade a bit more, looking to just get the burst damage down, and I guess kind of combo it with the Ebin's Nidalee. So we should be expecting a bit of ganks coming in from Ebin once it gets to the 3-minute mark. So wow, looks like CSB is going to indeed go for that invade.
So there is going to be an early level 1.
However, they were pinged out and they are stepping on a ward currently.
There's a ward right there. So
30 seconds until minions.
Let's see how MIT decides to respond to this.
2 laners are here, just spotting each other out, but we are going to see there's going to be engage. Subrooker Lit just staying in the Dragon Pit. Not sure what for. There's going to be a poison onto them, so they do know that they've been spotted out. They will be walking away. And I think that's not such a big problem here.
They could definitely have the health region to just sustain it back up.
I don't think MIT wants to fight for this one either.
That's 3 stacks for Cassiopeia's passive.
MIT also standing on a ward here. They are spotted out, but I don't think they will be making any plays there. Just going to be waiting in case there are any aggressive plays. Standard laning as well. So there is going to be no lane swap for this bottom lane and top lane.
And looks like both junglers will be starting on that bottom side of the map, making their way towards that top side, looking for the potential early gank. However, in Hecarim's side, I don't really think he'll be going for those ganks. However, we definitely will be seeing a gank coming in for Nidalee.
Yes, we have seen a lot of assassination attempts from Nidalee jungle players. We will see if she decides to invade or if she will focus on the top lane. Who do you think Ebon would be focusing here, or camping? Would there be any focus on any particular lane, or would she just be trying to get any opportunity that presents itself?
I feel like it's wherever there's a opportunity, there's a gank. I don't really think there's that many lanes. There's not really a lane in particular that you should try to focus when you play Nidalee. It's just a moment of opportunity, I guess.
Alright, so standard laning so far. Slight gold lead actually on that's gonna be on CSB side. Explosive charge being placed onto Snowy, but he is Barcode getting a lot of damage on himself down there. Rion putting on some free hits. The usual Graves aggressive play we're seeing. He does get stunned a bit, and that is gonna be a dark binding. The exhaust actually gonna be used onto Rion. The bottom lane here of MIT receiving so much damage 3 minutes into the game.
Yeah, so that level 2 all-in caught them a bit off guard.
Wow, instead also getting focused out here is going to flash with the Ignite, and that's pretty much a sure kill. First blood going over to Egan in that mid lane.
Yeah, so speaking of level 2 plays, that was a level 2 play coming in for that mid lane. Right when, that was a level 3 play, sorry.
Yeah.
Right when Egan did hit level 3, he did go all in onto Zed. Zed not really expecting the burst coming in, and towards the end of the fight, he actually ran out of mana.
Yeah,
so just relying on the autos.
So many clashes. Zealous got really low actually. He is forced to disengage as well. Eben actually there to help out in case anything happens. So many early engages already.
Yeah, meanwhile on the ball lane, we did see that explosive shot doing a bit of damage coming in onto that Graves.
So there might be a gank right here. Eben throws the spear, but it misses, and now there's going to be Harmony focusing Eben. He is going to back out, though. The Bushwhack, I believe, did proc, and that's going to be a spear as well. Flashes in, and hops in as well, and that's going to be a kill over for Eben there. We did expect those early ganks, and he got a kill.
Yeah, and that's definitely what Mapua needs to get into this game, get the victory. Snowball already coming in for that jungle and that mid lane, and with that, there's almost a slight 400 gold advantage coming in.
Yeah, that is a kill investment onto Eben and Cassiopeia, and that is going to be some pretty painful magic damage this early on in the game. Though Cassiopeia hasn't backed out just yet. Going to maximize that laning phase. Instead, putting down some damage onto Eben actually. He did receive a lot of damage again. The poke from Egan is still painful, and that's going to be Alanware flashing away from the buckshot. Barcode trying to do what he can to defend. He's trying to put down some auto attacks as well, but Rion is going to back out. Wow, nice dodge there from Barcode, but he is going to get some damage there from the Tormented Soil. Wow.
Yeah, so some really close trades coming in for that bot lane. One mistake from either side would have led to a double kill or their death, and fortunately both sides were able to just live with the sliver of HP.
It's like they're playing very cautiously but aggressively at the same time.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's actually Kulit in the lane right now. He is going to be jumping in, but I think he's just going to pass by there.
Yeah, it's really difficult to gank with the Hecarim since you don't have that flash and you're not level 6. So not really that much potential for those ganks coming in from Kulit.
Yeah, so we didn't see him just run away from that area. Meanwhile, Sed trying to push the mid lane, but he does not have much vision around his lane actually. Oh, look, there's a ward there. He is going to spot out Eben. Eben probably going to take out that ward right there. Meanwhile, top lane, Find Your Harmony or Kaigu and Azella still exchanging pretty even CS so far. Sobrang kulit. Gonna play out his name. Eben trying to hold off the mid lane in terms of CS, but is gonna push in just a little bit more. Meanwhile, Dragon, there is a ward, or rather the Scuttle Crab for CSB.
Yeah, and what's interesting to point out is the gold advantage has kind of dropped a bit coming in from that CS, so goes to show how mechanically solid the CSB team is right now. A 10 CS advantage coming in for that bot lane onto Rion, and a little bit of trading going down in that top lane.
Find Your Harmony receiving quite a lot of damage in that top lane, so he is going to be forced to recall. Not sure if Azelas will spot him out. This bottom lane though, like you said, it is a slight lead, actually a pretty big lead on Rion's side, showing his AD carry skills against Alan, where Barcode's engages actually he's been only been responding to the engages from Snowy. They haven't really been making plays of their own there.
Yeah, well, I don't really think there's a window of opportunity to make plays for that. You know, there is that Black Shield coming in from Morgana, and a lot of counter bursts coming in for that Rion side. If Leon decides to engage, however, hold that thought.
Oh my, there's going to be a teleport coming in here from the top lane of CSB. He's actually going to go for it. He ults in onto Alanware and pushes him towards Rion. Rion is going to secure that kill. Black Shield going to keep Sobrang Kulit safe, and that's going to be a kill. The first one for CSB.
And now, right when Kulit hit level 6, he immediately teleported. So 720, he just cleared that wolf camp, I believe, and once he cleared that wolf camp hit 6, he teleported, went for that ultimate, then just knocked him back towards his team and got that kill.
Wow, so that was really one of the things we were expecting to see here with that teleport coming in for Sobrang Kulit, and it definitely was worth it. Kill investment into Rion, a kill plus the CS lead he already has, so this is going to be a very painful Graves when we hit the mid game.
Yeah, definitely. He does have that 20 CS advantage. He actually went for that pickaxe rather than waiting a little bit more and going for that BF sword. However, this definitely will be a IE coming in.
Yeah, that Barcode receiving a lot of damage from that buckshot. Top lane slightly leaning towards Find Your Harmony side, but not such a significant lead. That is going to be an ult, and it's gonna not stun, but it does land. The slow, he is able to take out Zed, but Kulit was there to respond with the gank. The spear does land onto Kulit, but Eben might back out here. I don't think he wants to fight this one. The blue buff actually for Kulit there, and Eben just gonna play around, try to land some spears on Kulit.
Yeah, so Kulit was at the right place at the right time.
Ooh, but Barcode is gonna get caught out. Such an easy kill there for CSB's bottom lane, and that's gonna be another kill once again for Rion. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, there's gonna be a small clash here. Kulit Just bumping Eban, and that's gonna be a spear actually onto Kulit, who is gonna get the kill. That's gonna be a kill for Eban. He outplays Kulit, and that is gonna be 2 kills now for him. That's gonna be a Destiny 4 set, and he gets the kill onto Eban to get revenge.
So the dueling potential coming in from Nidalee, 1v1ing said despite 1v1ing Kulit, despite Kulit having that blue buff. But hold that thought, here comes the burst.
Wow!
Potential.
Soul Shackle's almost connecting onto Alienware, and he still wants to fight, but Rion takes him out now on a killing spree. Meanwhile, in this top lane, we're gonna see a clash between Azelas and Find Your Harmony. Who is gonna go down? The ult gonna burst a little bit, but the ult from Riven not enough to take him out.
Yeah, unfortunately, the stun did not connect onto Maokai. If that stun did connect, that would have been a kill. And meanwhile, we did see that bot turret will be taken for that CSB side, and will pull the gold advantage to roughly a 3k gold lead with a 1 kill. So turning the tides.
Yeah, all those slight engages mechanically leading towards CSB side, and they're able to secure that gold lead plus the first tower of the game. First Dragon now more vulnerable because that tower is down. So this first Dragon, no wards yet, but it might go.
Yeah, definitely.
Ooh, there's gonna be a gank here. Colette gonna lock Egan rather back, and he is very low right now. We're not sure if Zed will get the kill. It's gonna be a spear though onto Zed. Egan did go down. Colette was able to take her out, and Eban so low. The red buff is burning him down, but he is gonna be able to disengage there.
Yeah, so that heal saving him with the nick of time, and with that should be a mid lane turret and possibly a dragon coming in for that CSB side, further pushing that gold lead in favor of them. And we do see that the pings are going down onto that dragon, and that will be indeed a dragon being started for CSB with that mid lane turret getting taken.
Wow, so bot lane turret and mid lane turret taken out. Pretty good rotations here coming in from CSB, and that's going to be Azelas and Find Your Harmony dueling out there. Find Your Harmony not going to teleport to the bottom lane. Instead, she is going to duel. That is going to be the first dragon going over to CSB. Meanwhile, Ebba getting very low. Zed might just get the kill here. Ebba going to heal and jump out, and that's going to be a disengage right there. Wow, so CSB turning the tides. Kulit looking for another kill. It's going to be forcing the jump there. Slight lag actually, and Kulit receiving the explosive charge, but he's very brave. He's going to come in. Flash coming in from Snow and Rion, and that's going to be a buckshot to finish him off. Barcode goes down once again, and Eban actually still engaging with Zed. He is going to get that scuttle to get him that speed boost, and Zed trying to land a card, but it is going to miss.
Yeah, so Eban going in for that scuttle crab where Zed was there in the vicinity and was able to get that pick. However, was not able to get the kill. However, here comes the Destiny, and the kill. Nope.
It's gonna be that's gonna be a kill for Zed. Azelas left alone here. Will he be able to take anyone out? It doesn't look like it. He is gonna disengage. It might actually be a kill. Wow, Find Your Harmony gets the kill onto Azelas, and that shifts the kill score to 9-4 in CSB's lead.
So Find Your Harmony was holding on to that ultimate, trying to give that kill onto Zed, however, was not able to do so and had to take the kill. However, Cassiopeia is approaching the vicinity with Tristana in the flank, and let's see if they manage to get those 2 kills.
That's gonna be all coming in from Allen, where Egan is able to secure the kill. Ooh, the red buff. Was that Grom? Oh, right, but Zed is gonna land the gold card. He is gonna run away now using that ghost, and that is gonna be a disengage there. Will it be? Yeah, it will.
Teleport is coming in from Kulit, I believe, and let's see if they are able to get the kill.
Ooh, but I think, yeah, he went in. Who is he gonna take out? He's just gonna run away now. Eban probably not gonna take him out, but that is gonna be Azelas taking in a kill. Kulit in a pretty bad position here. He is gonna ult through the wall, but Eban gonna do the exact same thing. He receives the spear. That's gonna be a kill for Eban right there.
Yeah, so it looks like CSB overstaying their welcome, going a bit too aggressive there. While they were able to pick up 2 kills, they did trade 3 kills. So, unfavorable trade coming in.
Yeah.
And that will help MIT get back into the game by a slight bit.
Yeah, although Tristana, 0-3 so far, so no kill investment coming in for Alienware so far in this game. Ooh, but that's going to be the flash shot coming in from Ega. No stun, but he does slow them. Meanwhile, Rion is able to take him out, but he's going to get shut down right there. Eban gets the shutdown. Snoy, the only one left here. Tower, going to help him out. So Shackles might actually stun them under the tower. Will Eban go down here? Yes, he will. It's going to be a tower hit. And that's going to be a kill over for Snoy. Will he land the Dark Binding? It's going to be forcing the flash, and that's going to be a 2-for-0 exchange. Oh, 2-for-1 exchange.
That's a really good play for Snoy. It looked like he was about to die, however, really good plays. Great use of the Soul Shackles, great use of the Dark Binding, and we'll pick up Evan, and once again, a 2-for-1 in favor of CSB.
Yeah, so around a 5k gold lead coming in for CSB right now, and not sure. The late game is still leaning towards MIT's side, but not so sure if CSB is gonna allow them to get to their late game.
Yeah, and it's gonna be really difficult to execute the proper AoE team fight. Find Your Harmony going in has activated.
Oh, wow, he actually gets quite low there. Azelas quite behind in terms of CS, but he does have his own kill. Not building that Rod of Ages just yet, holding on to 2 Darns and a Catalyst to the Protector. There's gonna be a gank coming in from Evan. Find Your Harmony gets very low, did not see the gank coming in from the lane, and that's gonna be another kill. Eba now 5-3.
Yeah, and he has, instead of opting for that early tier, he has decided to opt for that that Lich Bane rush.
Yeah, he's gonna go for the Lich Bane, and he is dueling Kulit right now. We're gonna see. Nope, he's not gonna secure that kill.
Yes, Head was on the wing, and he didn't really want to get into a 1v2 right there. Meanwhile, Rion is pushing that bot lane. Alienware probably won't be able to defend this.
Yeah, they are. There is a pretty big gap right now between Rion. But that is going to be Egan engaging onto Zed. Will a spear land onto Zed right now? There's a lot of DPS coming in, and that's going to be a kill for Evan right there. Another. It's going to be 6-3 already for him, and this is definitely what we were expecting, seeing Italy in the game.
And again, Eben definitely pulling the game back into MIT's reach. Eben taking that red buff right now, so wow, Eben's really stepping up, doing his best to carry the team with those plays.
So Eben with the mechanical play, using the Italy, the spear lands, but he doesn't have much mana left. He does have the double buff, so he might just wait for Find Your Harmony right here. 3 members actually to respond, so this might be... Oh, there's going to be a ward, so he's going to spot him out right there. But Kulit is going to come in with the engage. The collateral damage from Rion, so painful, he is able to take out Eben. The carry is gone. Find Your Harmony and Rion are here, and that is going to be a disengage from MIT.
Yeah, so although Eben might be a bit fed right now, we do see that Rion is currently fed also 6-1 right now with that Infinity Edge and those Berserker Creeps, dealing lots of damage, and 30 CS above Alienware.
Yeah,
so really strong right now.
Yeah, Alienware kind of struggling at the moment. He is behind by quite a lot of CS and has yet to finish a core item. This is going to be the 3rd tower already for CSB, and it really seems like they have to get these carries going. That is going to be the ult coming in from Zed. Alienware in a pretty bad position here. They have no tower, so Alienware gonna get a 2-man gank, and he is gonna go down. Free kill for Zed there.
Yeah, however, a teleport and Destiny was used there, so a lot of skills being invested into killing this Tristana. Tristana is already 0-4 right now. Hasn't had the best of games recently. Being camped pretty hard, and wow, Find Your Harmony needs to be careful.
Find Your Harmony gonna back out there. Wasn't spotted, but it's gonna be the ult coming in from Leona. The spear barely missing, as well as the Zenith Blade. Zed put down some damage, and Find Your Harmony putting Barcode's HP down to 0. That's gonna be a revenge kill from Evan onto Zed. Evan gonna flash out. Will the spear land? No, it will not, but Kulit is here with the counter gank, and they are gonna take him down. Double kill for Find Your Harmony. He does go down though. Egan trying to do what he can to land that DPS. Will he be able to take down Kulit? Kulit really wants this kill, but he might regret his decision right now. Rion though with the assist, and he is gonna take down Egan.
So yeah, really good play coming in. Despite it looking a bit shaky with that overextend, they were able to make the best out of it. Rion coming in on the nick of time, and with that, Dragon has spawned, and that's perfect timing for CSB to take their 2nd Dragon of the game.
So I guess that's why they invested so much in the bottom lane, setting up for that Dragon. It's going to be the 2nd Dragon already for them. 17 minutes into the game, and that's already around a 6,000 gold lead. 3 towers for CSB, so it's looking like even if MIT's team composition was looking a little bit more reliable, the mechanical play coming in from CSB has been pretty on point right now.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, mad props to Rion. Rion being pretty much everywhere on at the right time, saving a lot of the members' lives from a unfavorable position.
Yeah,
and he's currently 7-1 right now and doing a lot of work.
Yeah, so that he is definitely helping to carry his team. Find Your Harmony as well. 132 CS. That is going to be the 2nd tower now for MIT, trying to catch up with those objectives. But Zed putting on the gold card. Will he land one onto Zealous? Yes, that's going to be a double stun. Teleport as well coming in from Kulit. Will he ult through the wall? He is trying to catch up to Zealous, but it's going to be a 3v3. The 2-man stun comes in. That's going to be a kill for Evan right there. Meanwhile, there's going to be a clash here down at the Dragon Pit. They are going to try and take down Alan Ware. Free kill for Rion. Will he catch up to Barcode? That's going to be the ult as well from Sed. So much map presence right now from the entire team, and they are going to try and land a Dark Binding onto Egan. Rion putting down some damage of his own, but that's going to be Evan with a response. He's going to be taken down, but at what cost? It's going to be almost an ace for CSB.
Really good plays coming down everywhere. That Cassiopeia Petrifying Gaze was insane, landing it onto Kulit and Kaigyu right as they were about to go in. Really good counter engage. However, in the end, CSB still managed to come on top. Really great play from Sed, and really great play from that CSB bot lane, getting the kills down onto Leona and Tristana while managing to pick up Eben and Egan in that process.
Yeah.
And that wild card actually hit Egan as he was aiming it towards Eben, which is definitely why Sed was able to live that fight.
So
really
great
good play.
opportunities there for CSB. They do have still a 6,000 gold lead. The good thing here, I guess, though, is that even if CSB is in the lead, it shows that there is, or rather, MIT is still able to slightly catch up in terms of
and like we said earlier, they do have a really strong late game. Once Cassiopeia starts getting fed, I believe Cassiopeia is approaching that 500 stack mark, and once he hits 500 stacks, he will be doing quite a bit of damage. He's currently at 26. So I think that might be 260, I guess, because 26 is pretty low for
might be a
20
graphic
minutes.
bug.
Yes.
Yeah. Ooh, Barcode's gonna be caught out of position once again. He is gonna ult Rion there, and he is gonna try to engage, but it's gonna be a kill. Meanwhile, Evan also gonna get taken down. Oh, but he takes down Kula just before he goes down. Rion with a revenge kill. Now he's gonna put some DPS onto Cassiopeia. It's gonna be Egan going down. A full-on clash here. Sed gonna survive. He gets the double kill. He's gonna try to go away, but it is gonna be Azella bringing him down before he goes down as well. But it is still an ace, and the AD carry is alive. This might just be a mid-inner turret.
Yeah, so CSB taking advantage of the fact that they have the superior mechanics from the players by forcing a bunch of mini skirmishes at the same time, rather than forcing one big team fight, as Mapua has a better team fighting comp. However, CSB is not allowing that to happen. We just see in the bot lane, in that bot lane near that red buff, that they had a skirmish there, and in that mid lane there was also a skirmish, and just relying on the superior mechanics to win those skirmishes and those dueling fights. And CSB also has a team comp that's more reliant on just dueling with that Hecarim and with that Riven pick. So really great play and really great use of their team comp.
Yeah, I was gonna say they are using their team comp to its full potential. Mapua yet to have the chance to pull off any kind of wombo combo. We have yet to see like a Leona and Egan all coming out at the same time. There has been no full 5-man AoE.
Yeah, and Alan Ware hasn't really had the best of games, and if there was a 5v5 team comp, I don't think he'd be really doing that much impact, and he's currently half the gold of Rion at the moment.
Oh my goodness. So let's just say that Alan Ware is going to take a long time before he hits his late game spike.
Yes.
It's definitely behind right now. Half the gold. I have yet to see that big a lead in terms of only 80 carries, but in terms of the general gold lead, that is around 8,000 already coming in for CSB. They have 4 towers and they have 2 dragons as well. The 3rd dragon coming up in just about a minute.
And actually, speaking of half the gold, the majority of the gold differential is
that was close.
so yeah, the majority of that gold gap between CSB and Mapua is actually in the 80 carries. And Kulit.
Oh my, Kulit getting caught out of position there. That is going to be a Leona ult as well, onto 2 members, but there is going to be no instant follow-up. Rion actually going to throw his ult, but doesn't do too much damage, landing onto Barcode. 4 members here trying to run away, and it seems like this might be MIT's chance to get a pick, but he is going to put the gold card onto Zella's spear, barely misses, and it doesn't look like CSB wants to fight this one. They have no frontline tank. Snoy might be looking for the counter engage. Eben trying to chase down Snoy because that spear did land. Another spear against the Snoy, 2nd spear. Then he is going to jump in with a flash. It's going to be a shutdown for him, but he is going to be immediately taken out. Harmony going to get taken out as well. It's going to be a 3 versus 2. Can Rion do anything? Sed gets very low. The poison finishes him off. And that's going to be, wow, a very unfortunate clash. Kulit gets so caught out of position there. Rion the only one left alive. He is going to try and juke around. Will he get taken out? Double kill for Egan as well.
And this
Wow.
was what I was about to say before that fight broke out. The majority of the gold gap is on the AD carries, however the other lanes are relatively close.
Yeah.
So if Mapua is able to get those proper 5v5 team fights that they did right now, they have a chance to get back in the game, and we just saw that. And the gold gap is now
Wow,
it's now 5k, so that was a 3k
Yeah.
from that fight. Mapua has gained 3k, and this will be their first dragon of the game,
Wow.
giving them 6% bonus AD and AP.
Wow. So great plays coming in from MIT. They still have a chance to get back into this game. The late game is still very
It was
strong for
actually
them.
really questionable what Kulit right there.
Yeah.
He kind of dashed into the team. I'm not really sure what he's trying to
Yeah.
accomplish. A tower dive would have resulted in the same negative result.
Overestimated his horsepower. I
Yeah.
think.
Didn't expect to get there too fast. Maybe it was...
Ooh, he is gonna ult in once again, but this time he won't get cut off position. There's gonna be a response from his fellow teammates. Egan, way surrounded there by the 4 members. Said gets low, but he does survive. Meanwhile, the flash stun coming in from Harmony onto Eban. He almost takes him out, but the heal is able to keep him alive. Soul Shackles landing onto a few members there. Alan Ware getting zoned out here by Kulit, and that's gonna be Barcode getting very low. He flashes out. Really messy team fight right now. Azelas trying to do what he can as well, flashing out, but it's not going to be enough. Rion takes him down. Azelas the only one left within this 3v3, and that's going to be a 4-for-1 exchange in favor of CSB. And they did bring the gold lead back.
Yes, so that was a really good play by Kulit. Kulit redeeming himself after that cousin Volt play, making that really good initiate onto the Cassiopeia and the Leona. And with that, that's an inhibitor for CSB and the gold lead once again. 7k now.
Wow,
so they just gained back 2k from that fight.
So Kulit doesn't let a moment pass. He immediately redeems himself.
Yes.
Teleports into that mid lane. I guess that's really what he wants to make himself useful for in this competition.
Wow,
and that's the
spear.
snipe with the spear. Find Your Harmony might not be able to survive this one, and that's going to be a double kill for Evan. Truly the most painful member at the moment coming in from MIT.
Yeah, and Evan currently has more than half of MIT's kills, and he's the one really carrying the game right now. Getting those spears, getting those picks onto the enemy team, and wow, he has a lot of damage.
Yeah, he also has almost as much gold worth as Zed as well, so 12,000.
Yeah, he has the most gold on his team, despite
Yeah.
being the jungle. Jungle is usually known as
Yeah.
a starved role, however, really good play. Here comes
That might be a
Kulit.
teleport again from Kulit, and he is going to help out Zed. Zed not going to go down there, but they are going to trade that one kill there for the mid turret. Eban might try to land a kill here. The spear that missed, but the ult and the Zenith Blade land onto Rion. Rion not able to take anyone down. Will the turret take down Eban? No, it will not. That's going to be a tower and a kill onto Rion for Eban there.
Yeah, and looks like they will be trying to get this turret. However, in the meanwhile, we do see that Kulit is pushing that top lane. Evan will be backing to try to defend this. However, MIT pushing that mid lane, however, backing away.
Yeah, Baron is live now. They do have, CSB does have vision around that area. They did secure the Scuttle Crab. Now there's going to be Kulit actually coming in from this area, so he might just flag. That is going to be a flag right there. Set all alone though, he's not able to do so much. He's immediately taken down. Kulit though going to come in with a response. Barcode gets very low. He's going to back away. Spell Thief's Edge going to be used as well as the Dark Binding. He is going to be taken down in just a bit. Kulit going to finish him off there. Azelas, the tank now, taking in a lot of damage. They aren't focusing him though. They want to take down Eban here. He is going to be soul shackled. He is going to be put down onto the ground, and he is going to be taken out. This is going to be a double kill for Find Your Harmony. One member left. Is it going to be an ace? Will Azelas take anyone down? He's so tanky right now. It's taking really long to take him out. Kulit might just go down here before Azelas does. Oh, but it's going to be an ace for CSB.
So the skill spam coming in for Riven and the skill spam coming in from Hecarim was just keeping Azelas alive with the spam, with the auto attacks. Every auto attack, he would heal up. So Hecarim, despite having that 1 second cooldown on that Q, it's actually beneficial to
He
that
prolonged that
MVP.
flash for like 30 seconds. So really tanky Azelas right now. The question is, will Alan Ware be able to catch up and respond with the damage in this late game? We have hit the 28-minute mark, and an inhibitor in the mid lane already down right now.
Yeah, that is a 10k gold advantage coming in for CSB with 10 kills, roughly 10 kills, 8 kills ahead. And with this, I feel like CSB should be able to snowball this into a victory once they establish board coverage again and set up for that Baron. I don't think there's much MIT can do unless like Diamond Evan gets a really nice pick onto Brion or Zed.
Yeah, or maybe if Kulit like rushes
Yeah,
back into the enemy team again.
suicides again.
So the chances for that are quite small. But the Baron is up. Gonna be a Vision Ward right there. They actually are not gonna spot that
Yeah,
one
it's
out.
actually interesting. CSB opting to go for a split push strategy. 1 in the top lane, 2 in the middle, and 2 in the bot lane. There is an exposed inhibitor in that bot lane. I guess they're capitalizing once again on the skirmishes, trying to force skirmishes rather than a full-blown team fight, trying to get the picks, and looks like Rion and Seth will be pushing this inhibitor. However, here
But
comes
he's
the
gonna
Destiny.
go in. He might
Towards
just
the
be,
mid lane.
yeah. It's gonna be Bullet and Snoy trying to push down that top lane. They all have members on every lane right now, and not sure what their strategy is gonna be here. 3 members right now in the top lane. This might be an inner top lane tower, but 4 members are here to respond. Alanware trying to push that lane out, and Rion left all alone here in the bottom lane. Totally free inhibitor there, and now 2 inhibitors left open for CSB.
And yeah, this looks like this will be the top turret coming in for CSB.
Yeah, we actually see 3 members here to respond to just Rion, and he quick draws out of the ult from Leona, so that already is a disadvantage if ever there's a team fight. Azelas just trying to tank in. Kulit rushing into the team once again. Will there be a response from his teammates? That's going to be Alanware putting the explosive charge onto him as well as the spear. Rion here in a quite an awkward position, but he is going to back out. Azelas again tanking the damage, but Egon is going to flash in with the ult. He's not able to finish off Rion. Actually, never mind. The poison takes him down. There's going to be a Find Your Harmony trying to get some kills. He isn't able to finish anyone off though. Alanware getting a kill for himself, and that's going to be Snoy taken down as well. Wow, it's almost an ace here. It's a 4-for-1 exchange in favor of MIT. This is the late game.
Yeah, so Rion had really weird positioning, and this is really scary coming in for CSB. MIT has a really strong late game right now. Tristana just picked up that Phantom Dancer, and Cassiopeia is... I'm assuming she has 500 stacks right now, so let's take a look at the stacks actually. So you see that's, I guess that's around 400.
Yeah.
So getting really close to that 500 stack threshold, and this is going to be really huge coming in, and that is the second dragon coming in for Diamond.
Yeah, so that is going to help them to push out the lanes. It's actually 8-4 in terms of towers, but with that second dragon buff, it might help them out just a bit.
Yeah, and I feel like CSB can't really afford to make those plays again. Really questionable coming in for Rion. He was all alone on the wing while the rest of his teammates were in that lane, and yeah.
They did trade the inhibitor, but in exchange they got, well, 4 deaths there.
Yeah.
So was that Kulit's fault coming in?
Yeah, I definitely feel like there wasn't a point to making that engage. They should have just got the turret, then backed off, tried to bait for the Baron. Because you don't really gain anything from engaging like that. You're not that tanky. While you do have a couple armor, like you do have, like Kulit's items are mostly armor, and he was facing off against Cassiopeia and Maokai, which is mostly magic damage.
So Kulit, somewhat questionable engage, but he is really freaking huge right now, and that's going to be an ult coming in from Zed, but he gets slowed right there. Actually, the Zhonya's was used, and that's going to be Egon caught out, their hyper carry gone, and this is going to be Azelas coming in with a response, but he's just a little bit too late. Now all of the members are here as a 4 versus 5, but Find Your Harmony and the other members are quite low. Who's going to get the kill? Alanware actually takes down Find Your Harmony, and that's going to be Kulit taken down as well. It's now a 3 versus 3, and double kill coming in for Alanware. Eban, the only carry left alive. The Zhonya's is there, but it is not going to be enough.
Yes.
And that is going to be a 3-for-4 exchange in favor of CSB.
20-second death times. Looks like CSB will be trying to go for that inhibitor, and a really good pick coming onto Egan. That was definitely what CSB needed. However, Rion stuck onto Maokai for too long. I feel like he should have just switched targets immediately. Maokai's just too tanky at this moment. He has so much sustain. While if he dedicated the time attacking Maokai to trying to kill Eben or Alanware, that definitely would have been the game right there. However, Nidalee was able to get that pick onto TF, and yeah, the game still goes on.
Yeah, so they really lacked a lot of damage in that clash. Egan getting so caught out of position. The Baron is still alive, and 33 minutes in, it is around a 9,000 gold lead still for CSB. But like you said, the late game is just gonna keep going here, and Alanware finally able to pick up some kills of his own in this late game.
Yeah, definitely, and Baron is still an objective on the map. No Barons have been taken yet. I feel like teams will be starting to hover towards that Baron pit, and Here comes the teleport
Oh
destiny.
my! Alan, we're gonna get caught out there. The burst is strong, but he's gonna use his ult. Try to disengage. It's not gonna be enough.
One hit.
Oh wow! One hit left. Said relying way too much on that one auto attack, but Coolit is able to take him down. Barcode and Azelos here tanking in damage, but there's no one to respond. Ebon on the sideline. He's way too far to respond for anything here. The spear misses. Azelos again tanking everything for very long, but it's not gonna mean much. They are gonna be able to take him down. That's 2 members left. Both carries actually of MIT are still alive, but will they be able to set up a kill here? It's the whole team of CSB crawling into the game, crawling into the Nexus. This might be the game. Double man stun, find your harmony, getting caught out there. Evan able to finish him off,
And this could be game.
that is going to be a Nexus turret taken out. Again, the only one here, Said, receiving a lot of damage to the Zhonya's just in time. Coolit trying to finish off Egan here, and he is going to activate the Zhonya's as well. Will he be able to survive? No, he will not. And that's going to be a kill for Coolit, but the death timers were quite low though. Alanware is here. Will they be able to finish off the Nexus? Rion is actually a little bit low. Said, stunning Barcode there, and this is a really long clash. Coolit, actually most members of CSB are quite low. That's going to be a flash in, and the burst lands onto Said. Azelos trying to tank in a lot of damage right now. The Soul Shackle is not able to proc because Snowy is taken down, and they are able to prolong the game.
Yeah, so barely surviving that fight right there. Rather than going for ending the game, they decided to try to see if they could get more kills. And here comes Riven with the 1v4, trying to get that inhibitor, and he will just get knocked away from that Buster shot, stun lock coming in, and
Yikes, what was that?
Weird play coming in from Caillou.
Not sure. He was
Whoa.
probably... Ooh, the spear lands onto Kulit.
This could be
The
fair.
ward was actually there, and this might hurt. Wow, he actually flashed, but regardless, he got the kill onto the jungler. That's a 50-second death timer, and they are pinging the Baron right now. It does have a lot of wards here.
Yeah, that was a 4k gold advantage just lost coming in from that play, and they need to be careful. Like we said earlier, that Mapua does have a really strong late game team comp.
Yeah, so CSB actually being a little bit shaky towards the later part of the game.
Yeah, they could have ended it right there. I'm not sure why they decided toying with their food. Toying with the enemy, I guess.
Yeah, playing with their food, but it might not be their food any
Yes.
longer. They are entering the late game in just a bit. Rion is gonna start to fall off, and Alanware is gonna... He actually is slightly catching up. It's 12,000 to 16,000, so he is building up those items. He does have that Last Whisper and the Phantom Dancer, building towards a Bloodthirster, I believe. And he is going to be a little bit more safe. Egan has to not get caught out of position here. And they are hovering over to this Baron Pit right now. Rion taking out that Scuttle Crab. CSB trying to secure a little bit of positional advantage here. They have taken out all the wards around the Baron Pit, and they are starting this Baron right now.
Yeah, and there's no contestation right now. There should be a free Baron coming in, and it's dying really fast. It's only 5 seconds, and it's already half HP.
Yeah.
Less than half now, and
Meanwhile, Zed is actually split pushing there. Not sure where that's gonna go, but there's gonna be a free Baron.
Here comes
Coolit
the
actually
engage.
engaging onto Alanware, and he is gonna be caught out. That's gonna be Azelos tanking damage. Eban trying to get the kills that he can. He actually takes down Coolit. Egan right now is actually very safe, but Rion is gonna try and focus him out. He is gonna be caught out though. That's gonna be Maokai up in his face. Find your harmony, not able to get a kill. Dark Binding doesn't land as well. Azelos
wow.
Azelos
the
tries to
tankiness.
teleport, but he is gonna stay here. That's actually Zed trying to end the game. He's actually just walking around right now because he knows it's probably over. Quadra kill coming in for Eben, and they are backing over to the Nexus end.
That is GG. so Zed having a little bit of fun towards the end.
Just standing.
Yeah,
Right by the
despite
Nexus.
losing that team fight, the game was over.
Yeah, it was like he was saying, like, yoo-hoo, I'm at your Nexus now. And
Yeah.
he pretty much takes the game there. So that is going to be CSB. Very strong performance, a little bit shaky towards that late
I
game.
feel like they
but-
just got a bit too overconfident, not really respecting the threat coming in from that late game Mapua team comp. And
Yeah. But actually, Coolit, towards that end part, he did
yeah,
catch
really good
Alanware
yeah,
finally
really good
out of
engage.
position. He had some questionable engages, but he was able to help them end the game. That is the game, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take a look at the
And-
scores right now. Neat, break this down for us.
Something to point out, despite Mapua losing the game, look at Evan's score. That score is ridiculous. 25, 10, and 10. Really strong performer right
Yeah.
there, and I believe he had like the second highest gold count coming in for that team, with Zed being the highest. So really good play coming in, and from that CSB side, Rion had a really solid performance throughout the game, with Said finally making that final last play. Khalid had a couple of bit questionable plays, however, it's like a hit and miss. One play would be really nice, and then the second play would be pretty questionable. Yeah.
So, regardless of the questionable engages here and there, CSB is able to take advantage of their mechanical play, and they will be securing a point for themselves. They are now 5-1. One of the strongest teams right now, actually tying up with FEU for 5-1 as well. DLSU remaining undefeated. We will be seeing, most probably, CSB, FEU, and DLSU in the playoffs fairly soon, I believe. So, that was the third set for you guys today between CSB and Mapua Institute of Technology.
Yes.
And in the next set, we will be having PUP. That's going to be hot seat against the University of the Philippines Oblation Esports.
Yes, and that will be my two teammates, V and Ferzek, playing on that game. So
shout out to you guys.
Shout out to V and Ferzek.
All right.
We'll see how you guys perform next game.
Yeah, Neep will be watching you guys, criticizing your every move.
Yes, especially V.
Yeah, alright, so we are going to move into the game pretty soon. We're just going to take a short break again. This has been GS Amplifier, and alongside with me is
GS Neep.
And we'll see you guys later.